Didn't you have so much fun today? Let's have another outing like that again soon.
Maya, I'm sorry, but there's no way I'm going shopping with you next time.
What? Why?
I'm pretty sure you know why. What was the deal with what happened today? You asked me to meet you because there was an emergency. So I dropped what I was doing and rushed to where you were. But then, the emergency was that you had too many shopping bags and you couldn't carry them all. And not only did I have to carry all your shopping bags, but your friends as well.
Oh, Violet, thank you for that, by the way. I met her recently at one of my lunch parties. Isn't she such a beautiful woman? So classy, too? We were just talking about how much fun we had today. And because you were there to help us with our bags, we didn't get so worn out. We're not as young as we used to be. So, thank you for coming to join us.
I'm sorry, Maya. However, I'm not your personal assistant, and I didn't run over there to carry your bags. Because of you, I wasn't able to complete any of the jobs I had planned to do today. So I hope you never call me out like that ever again.
Mina, are you actually being serious?
Yes, I am.
What you're saying, in other words, is that I should never rely on you when I need help? Isn't that a terrible thing to say to your mother-in-law?
I'm not saying that you shouldn't rely on me, but I would love it if you didn't require my company as much going forward. I was only there to lug your baggage around all day. There was no other purpose for me to be there. Like I said, I had a list of errands that needed to be done myself.
Oh, I see. I bet you're just mad about that incident.
What incident?
You know, the thing I said to Violet about you. That's because you were raised by a single mother and you're constantly worrying about money.
Oh, that. Yes, I heard you mention that to your friend.
I'm sorry if that made you feel uncomfortable. I just have the tendency to blurt out what comes to my mind. But everything I said is true, so you don't mind now, do you? Violet was also very understanding of your upbringing. Do you notice how worried she appeared? She must have secretly rejoiced that you had a challenging upbringing.
Not even the slightest bit. Why would I be happy that she sympathized with me?
Oh, is that so? I just wasn't sure, since I've never been in a situation where I needed anyone to sympathize with my misfortune. But she handed you some money before she left. Was it supposed to be a tip for your services or some kind of charity? It was the first time I would ever seen anyone being given a handout like that. I almost burst out laughing.
You know I returned that money right away. You watched me hand it back to her. I have no need for it.
Oh, Mina, you don't need to be ashamed about asking for help. You really shouldn't put up such a brave front all the time. Who's to say that Hilda won't leave you one day for being so hard-headed? Especially since you're already a disappointment as a daughter-in-law as it stands.
Thank you, Maya, for your much unwarranted advice. I'll try to keep that in mind. But in the meantime, I have to finish up my work, so I'll be going now.
I don't know how you manage to work so constantly, but I guess you just have no choice if you want to afford a comfortable lifestyle. However, if you become desperate, you might begin gathering empty bottles and cans to earn extra money. I heard that you can get a 10-cent refund on each one.
Really?
Oh, but you should start thinking about having children soon too. And if you have any questions about raising proper children, you could always ask me for advice. I'm just worried that since you didn't have a father when you were kids, you weren't able to enjoy a conventional childhood.
Wow, thank you so much for your concern. Sure, my mother was the one who raised me single-handedly since I was a girl. But she did everything she could to make sure that I was well provided for. So I never felt like I was missing out on anything just because I didn't have a father. I've never felt guilty or embarrassed about my upbringing, not even as an adult. My mother was always confident and never backed down from people who'd try to discourage her. And I always wanted to grow up into a woman with even half the confidence that she had.
You are much more stubborn than confident, in my opinion. Anyways, There's no point in talking about money to someone who's never had enough of it, right? But if you're struggling financially, just let me know, okay? I can help you out to some degree. And you can pay me back slowly, of course, with interest.
Sunday morning.
Mina, are you there? Why aren't you answering? Do you know about the recently opened posh Italian restaurant? I'm here right now and thought it would be nice to invite you out for lunch. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed your call. But I already have plans for today, so I'm afraid I won't be able to join you. Plans? What plans do you have this time? Is there more fabric that you need to use up? No, this time is something else. Anyways, I'm with my friends right now, and I was just talking to them about you. I was telling them how I'm so happy that Hiller got married young, so there's plenty of time for grandchildren. But I should have asked about his partner's pedigree. Therefore, I could have ensured that her upbringing was appropriate for carrying our family name. Excuse me? Pedigree? Are you saying there's something wrong with my lineage? Well, yes, because isn't it true? I mean, you don't know who your father is, right? What does that reveal about your mother as a woman, then? And in fact, you're poor as a church mouse, isn't that right? Do you think I'm poor? Yes, exactly. And that's too bad. There's no way to live your life. If you can't spend your money when and how you want, then what's the sense of working so hard? You even spend your days off working and taking care of errands. Why not make an effort to occasionally treat yourself to something enjoyable? Or is your financial condition so dire that you are unable to even afford a short break? Oh, you poor thing. It must be so tough having no parents and no money.
In my case, I guess it's no parents, but with money.
What? Why do you talk to me like that?
You heard me, Mom. I've decided to cut all tie with you completely, as of right now.
Wait? Hillard? Is that you? Why are you here?
That's right. Mom, I can't believe the thing you've been saying to Mina all the time behind my back. I never knew you were such an evil coward.
No, you've got this all wrong. Mina and I are close with each other. She's like a real daughter to me. But she's just been in such a terrible mood since this morning.
Right, like I'm really gonna believe your lies. I've already seen all the past messages you sent her. So stop trying to make yourself look like a bigger fool than you already are. I really can't believe you would do such a horrible thing. I thought I made it very clear that I didn't want you to be in touch directly with Mina, especially since we're both still trying to figure out married life together. And I didn't want to add any extra burden on her emotionally.
Now, who's acting like a coward here? I just can't believe the nerve of that girl.
Huh? What do you mean?
The moment you realize you're in a bad position, you just goes crying to your husband. Don't you have any pride as a wife? Or even as a woman? Turns out that all your true thoughts about me. You know, if it were me, I would do that I can to resolve any problems on my own. Especially if these problems were a direct result of the way I was behaving. Hiller, that girl is too weak. How is she supposed to support you from now on if she's not willing to toughen up? Maybe you should replace her with a better wife. It's not too late to start over, you know?
That's enough, you evil witch. Don't talk like that about my wife.
Excuse me?
You know that's exactly what you are. All the things you said about her, you regret not looking into her lineage. And treating her like a dog while anticipating her responses to your appeal for support? If that's not already enough to call you a witch, you want me to replace her? Mina's not an object and she's not weak.
Well, but she's really antisocial. Do you not consider it a serious issue if your wife makes no effort to get along with your mother? And what about the way she's acting now? She just added you to this group chat so you can take care of her problems. Because she's too weak to face them herself. Just seems like she's trying to avoid her duties as your wife.
She didn't just add me here. I probably would have never found out that anything was going on because she never said anything to me. But today, as we were getting ready to head out, she was taking so long to come out of the bedroom. So I went to check on her. She was just sitting on the edge of the bed, her eyes all red from crying. She was essentially resistant to the idea that you were the cause of her sadness. Just can't believe she kept all this to herself this whole time. You have no idea how much you hurt her. She is absolutely crushed because of your harassment.
Hurt her? It's nothing like that. You know, Healer, women are supposed to have a strong heart. Otherwise, how can you expect them to support their husband and children? I was only trying to teach her how to be a proper wife. Anyway, if she's going to start sobbing every time we have a minor disagreement, I don't want her as my daughter-in-law. She's really not sociable with me, and on top of that, she's really poor.
What are you saying? What gave you the idea that Mina was poor? She likely has an equivalent amount of saving as I do, if not more. She's very frugal and never wastes money on unnecessary things.
What? Does she have money? Then how come she never comes along when I invite her to go shopping?
Not everyone thinks it's all that exciting to go on weekly shopping sprees like you. And some people, like Mina, are just wiser about how they spend their money. So she's not poor. In fact, she's very economical. She puts in a lot of effort and doesn't waste her money on only material things. I think that's very respectable of her.
Are you kidding me? What's the point of working so hard if you're not gonna spend that money? It's just gonna keep sitting in the bank? You see, because she was poor growing up, she thinks she just needs to hold on to whatever money she has.
Why do you talk like we grow very wealthy or something? It's not like our family's so much better off than hers. We just have the money left over from selling a property years ago. But that's not gonna last forever. You realize that, don't you?
Of course. So that's why I'm just enjoying myself now while there's still enough left. Anyway, since you and Mina are already together, then that's perfect. Why don't the two of you come to the restaurant now? I'm still here with my friends, so you should join us too. And since Mina isn't poor, I could finally introduce her to the ladies without feeling embarrassed.
Did you not hear what I said earlier? I told you I no longer want to associate with you, ever. I'm really embarrassed to be your son. You should probably go find yourself a replacement son.
Oh, stop it already? You're just joking, right?
No, I'm totally serious. Mina and I are gonna go look at a new house now.
A new house?
Yes, there was an offer for me to be transferred to one of our other offices. It would have been a very big step forward in my career too. But I wasn't really on board with it because I was worried about leaving you and Dad behind. But you've actually given me the perfect reason to accept that offer now. I just informed my boss about my decision and he wants to get things moving right away.
Wait, what do you mean? You never said anything about any offer. And you need to move? Where's your new office?
Do you honestly think that I'm gonna tell you? And there's no need. If we're not gonna see each other ever again.
Hiller, this is a joke, right? Why are you doing this? If it's about Mina, I only said those things and behaved that way because I wanted to help you. It was all for your benefits.
My benefit? You were just harassing my wife and bullying her all behind my back.
You're kidding, right? You're not seriously gonna cut me out of your life completely, are you? Are you going to choose Mina over me, your mother? She grew up not even knowing who her father was. There's no way she was brought up properly. Hiller, you're going to regret this. You should listen to what I say if you know what's best for you.
I met Mina's mother many times already. Compared to the way you are, she's a noble queen. I can't tell you how disappointed I am to be your son. I definitely regret calling you my mother all these years.
Wait, why don't we just talk this over like mature adults? I'll be right there.
Mina and I won't be returned to that house for a while, so don't expect me to find us when you get there. Like I said, there's no way I want to see you ever again.
Hiller, please, think about what you're saying. The money from the property sale is not gonna last forever. What am I supposed to do when that runs out?
That's your problem, so figure it out yourself. I'll say it's just karma. Wait, did you really think I was gonna help you out? Was that your intentions? That you would scream for rescuing me as soon as the money ran out? Saying that you had no way of surviving so you can live with us?
Well, yeah. Isn't it pretty normal to expect that? I mean, isn't it the child's duty to take care of the parents when they get old? To give back for everything they provided while growing up?
I knew it. You're really something, you know. Despite all those terrible things you've been saying to Mina, you still expect for us to take care of you in your old age? That's just ridiculous.
Let Mina talk to me again. She will understand. I'm confident that if I explain my thinking to her, she would comprehend. So let me just talk to her, women to women.
Fine, if that's what you want.
Mina, is that you? Please, you need to talk to Hiller. Tell him that it is just all misunderstanding. It's not like I said all those things to you because I dislike you or anything. You know that, don't you?
No, I'm sorry. I don't think I understand what you mean. Because I've never bullied anyone like that before.
No, I told you, this isn't bullying. I was just trying to educate you.
I see. I suppose you did teach me a lot of things.
You see, right? I knew you would understand. So do me a favor and ask Hiller to reconsider what he said. Otherwise, we won't be able to survive. We must starve to death.
What was it? A 10-cent refund on each can or bottle? Remember?
Excuse me?
You know, if you're truly that desperate, you may go around gathering used bottles or cans. Good luck with that.
3 days later.
Hey, I'm finally done with work. Man, this week has been so busy with training the new employees who will take over my responsibilities. I'm on my way home now.
I'm glad you're finally done. I know it was stressing you out. And Hiller, I'm really sorry. I know you rushed everything for my sake.
What are you talking about? Besides, I should be the one who's apologizing. I had no idea my mother had been in communication with you without my knowledge, and that she was causing you so much pain. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to know it sooner.
Do you remember the reason why Mom had to raise me on her own?
What? Of course, yeah. You said that your father was killed in an accident.
Exactly. But he didn't die right after the accident. He lived for about 5.5 years afterward.
Really? You've never mentioned that.
I know, but he was paralyzed from the waist down, and he couldn't move on his own, so he needed a lot of care. And, of course, he was in no shape to work. My mother explained that as a result, we didn't have a lot of money when I was a child.
I see. That must have been very tough.
Yeah, so we know that money doesn't buy happiness, and life isn't all about having money. But whether you have money or not can make all the difference if something happens. So she's always said that I should have enough saved up as an emergency fund. Because you never know what could happen. I never told you any of this because it's not such an easy topic to bring up. And I didn't want you to get a bad impression, like I was expecting something bad to happen or anything. But I suppose I occasionally may have been a little too frugal. I'm sorry.
You don't need to be sorry. I'm just glad you finally told me everything. I don't want you to hold back everything for me. And Mina, I want you to know that I'm really healthy.
Huh?
My job is in an office, so there's no risk of getting injured at work. And I spend most of my free time playing video games. To put it another way, I don't like to take chances, so I'm content to remain healthy and at peace every day.
I already know that, silly. Did you think I forgot or something?
And I'm a safe driver. I promise you'll always be a safe driver too. And you always cook such well-balanced meal for us.
Well, in that case, there's no reason not to live a long and healthy life.
Exactly. And I don't like being so wasteful either. So let's use our savings to enjoy a luxurious vacation when we're both elderly and retired. And if we end up being poor because we end up spending too much on that trip, I don't think I'll even mind at all. I'm sure I'll still be really happy.
You're crazy, but that's a great plan. Then we both better live to be old and wrinkly together. I can't wait to take that trip with you.
Yep, that's a promise.
Later.
As for Maya, she tried to find our whereabouts by harassing Hiller's colleagues with constant phone calls to his office, and even stalking the premises of my former free school. She actually caused a lot of trouble everywhere. However, because of our understandings, friends, and coworkers. She was never able to pinpoint our residence. Apparently, she tried to adopt a more frugal lifestyle. She probably couldn't fix it overnight, though. She often lost self-control and constantly returned to her old behaviors because she was such a spendthrift. She had to borrow a lot of money from her friends as a result, with no means of ever repaying them. So they all started to avoid her, and in the end, no one even wanted to see her anymore. She's struggling to pay back her debts right now, but she deserves every bit of it. I was forced to resign my position as a preschool teacher as a result of this occurrence. But our new life in a brand new place is going much better than anything we had expected. And just last week, I gave birth to our first child, a beautiful and healthy baby boy. My mother, who was just as excited as Hillary and I, was also right there to celebrate my son's birth. I hope that one day I'm able to repay my mom for everything that she's taught me.